back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. To all returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. So appreciated. So it has been a really long week. I wanted to talk about some recent events and talk about what's going on and everything. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would most greatly appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you can go ahead and get notifications when I post new content. I'm now out of school. I am done with school, so I can give more focus to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited, you guys. Like, you have no idea how long of a process this has been. But anyway, I hope everyone is well. I hope all of you guys are doing well in this quarantine, in the COVID-19, in this pandemic, in these times. It's really a lot going on. I guess now they're starting to open up, different cities little by little. So, just please stay safe. Please don't be just going out there, going to bars and clubs and all of that. We want everyone to stay safe and stay well. I went out and ate with my husband. I went out to brunch last Sunday and it was okay. I mean, we went when they first opened at 11. So we were literally the first people there. We sat outside, so it wasn't enclosed. And by the time we left, there were people coming, but we were pretty much the first people there. So if you must go out, try to do it before the crowds get out. Obviously, we're having to find a new normal. We're having to adapt to this situation. So with that said, just do your best to keep you, your kids, your family, your loved ones, friends, we all have to stick together on this, and let's just do our best just to keep each other safe, and well wishes. Keep your immune systems up. Drink your water, take your vitamins, get your rest. Try to stay stress-free as much as possible. Let's just do our best. So hopefully by this time next year, it won't be this way, because this is crazy. So with that said, I will say that COVID-19 and the pandemic has been an extreme monkey wrench in my life personally. I haven't really talked about it too much. I think I did on one of my videos. Pretty much because I finished school after 10 years of community college. I was set to graduate. My graduation was supposed to be last Friday. It has now been postponed to the end of August. My daughter is graduating from high school, and now she missed her prom. She missed all of her senior events. Now they're gonna have this, graduation to where she can walk across the stage, but it's gonna be with limitations, and she only can bring 5 family members with her, and I have to be the one to give her diploma. So it's just so many different things, so many different, changes going on, and it's just a lot. And congratulations to all the 2020 graduates. I know this is not what you guys thought it was gonna be. I know this is not how you thought it was gonna go. I sure didn't, because next week I was supposed to be in Jamaica. Literally, I have literally been going hard in the paint for the past 2-3 years. And even when I got AJ, I thought about stopping for another semester or a year, but I was like, no, I'm gonna just do it and just get it done. And I actually finished. And surprisingly, I got a B in math. You guys know about my disability. I've been very open and transparent about that. And I actually got a B. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I was seriously stressed, and I just knew that I was gonna pass with maybe a low D. I would have been happy with that. I think I said it on my last video, I'll take a D, I don't care. But he gave me an 80. So I got a B, and I now have my associates in liberal arts with a healthcare background. At this point, I don't think I'm gonna go pursue my BA, at least not right now. I have no desire. I have to get my baby through college. So my focus is gonna be there. And also I wanna focus more on YouTube. I wanna focus more on growing my channel. I wanna focus more on, getting to know you guys and connecting with everybody. I'm trying to center my camera. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just sit this way. I want to get to know you guys more. I want to connect more with you guys. I want to just, grow my channel and help people and give advice and connect with you all and get to know you guys and just, be there for y'all. And I just want to just spend time with AJ. We're going to be able to bond better now, and I'll have more time, and I just want to just focus on self-care, self-love, and just put my efforts. Now that I have more time available, I can focus on other things. So I'm so excited about that. But this isn't how we all planned it to be. But guess what? The reward, we gonna party, we gonna go hard, we gonna go travel, we gonna go get it in, we about to just have fun. So just hang in there. Hang in there. That's the most I can give you. You have to look at the glass half full versus half empty. We're here, we're healthy, we're in one piece. We're able-bodied. We have roofs over our head, we have food in our bellies, we have beds to sleep in. Our families are safe, our children are safe. You have to look at, ideally speaking, this is not how we anticipated everything to go, but you want to make sure that you're also grateful for what we do have, and just give thanks, and just know that this is temporary and it's gonna be okay. So with that said, yeah, so I want to talk about not giving up on your goals. Not giving up on your goals, because I feel like I am a person that is a living testament to this. So I want to talk about my journey with school. So many people go back and forth with whether or not they want to go get educated. The time, the effort, the energy, the stress, the frustration, and all of that. And what made me go back to school is I, being a single parent. First of all, I graduated in 1999, which is it seems like a century ago now, right? So when I graduated, I didn't have a future goal. I didn't have anything that I was good at. I didn't have anything that I enjoyed. I didn't have a passion. I literally just graduated because I knew that I had to. So my grandmother forced me to go to community college, and I'm a Scorpio, so when you force me to do something, I'm rebellious, and I'm gonna not take it seriously. I'm gonna just mess around with it. I don't care. And I went, and I wasn't doing well. I wasn't excelling. I wasn't I just was wasting time. I was just messing around. Honestly, that was my first time I had some freedom. So of course I was ditching, making the most of it, going to eat, ditching, talking to guys, having fun, going to the beach, going to sunset. I mean, what a time to have lived in LA at that time. It was the year 2000. That's when Chronic 2001 dropped. And I literally just remember going down Crenshaw and just listening to that album over and over. I remember going down Sunset. I remember going down Crenshaw. I remember driving down PCH. I remember going to Santa Monica. It's stuff like that that makes me miss LA. But what a time to have been young and having fun, and just, oh, what a time. So I was there, I wasn't really taking it serious. And after a while, that's kind of when, me and my grandmother started having our differences. And, it was the whole, do what I say. If you don't like it, then get out. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to get out, because this is not I'm a person, and I guess even back then I was so strong spirited to where it was kind of you controlled me through my whole childhood, but now I think I'm grown. I'm 18. I think I'm grown. I can do what I want to do, and it shouldn't have been like that. But now when I look back in retrospect, I just think that when you're dealing with a teen who has issues, it's a certain way you have to deal with them, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like at that time, my grandmother she just didn't approach me in a way that I felt. She didn't nurture me. And for me to not have felt that nurturement, I felt is nurturement a word? That nurturing, whatever, not getting that nurturing, I felt like I looked for it in the streets, which was the wrong way to go. So school wasn't an option. Just school was not an option. And so then from 18 to 29, I just worked jobs, temp jobs, odds and ends. I got pregnant, had my daughter at 20, and at that point, school was really not an option. I had no desire for school. I had a little human to take care of. And, I wasn't able to, I would never had the ability to find my passions. I never had the ability to find what I was good at. You know how you see people and you're like, what are they good at? I mean, you'll see people They'd be like, I'm working, I'm doing my passion is my work. And you be like, good for you. But it's like, I don't relate. Like, I never had the ability to know if I was good at art, if I was good at singing, if I was good at dancing, if I was good at producing films, if I was good at screenwriting, if I was good at directing, adult films. Like, I never could like dib and dab and venture and see what I was good at, because I kind of got thrown, to the real world. And with that, you kind of become in survival mode. You're in survival mode, and in survival mode, you're not able to think about anything but surviving, right? So I had my daughter, and I always read books. I always read about history. I always, loved to learn about the past, the people here, the ancestors before us. I love Black history. So I always was interested in learning about different things. I learned about, geology and science, and I started learning how to cook, and I realized I had a passion for cooking. And it was just little things that I learned along the way, but never anything to where I could take seriously to really figure out if it was a passion of mine. So when I moved to Texas, one thing I will say, when I moved to Texas, right, I began to meet people who had degrees. I began to meet people who owned homes. I began to meet people who had their master's degree. And where I'm from, a lot of people don't even have their diploma, okay? So to see this, it was kind of like an awakening. And, I thought just going to school, getting a trade, you made it in life. I mean, that goes to show how small-minded I was. I can be open and admit that. And I literally thought that was enough. I thought that was enough in life. And so when I came to Texas, and I'm seeing all these people who have their degrees and who have these successful jobs, and they have these big houses, and they're married and they're settled down, and I was just like, that became a goal. That was the first time I had a goal. And it almost scared me, because I never felt that before. Excuse me. I had Wingstop today. The fatness continues. I never felt that type of, the first time I felt the goal hit was when I decided to move to Texas, because I was tired. It wasn't because I was like, I want a better life. It was like, I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of this. Like, there has to be something better. Like, this can't be life. Like, there has to be something better than this. And so when I came to Texas, it wasn't like I hit the ground running. I literally had to start from ground zero. Like, I'm not one of those people who literally had something handed to them and they just, found their way easily. Like, I had to start from ground zero. And so again, survival mode. And it just got to the point where I was just like, is this all that life is? Just struggling to pay bills and working and stressed out and, not being able to live life and enjoy. Like, is this all that life has to offer me? This can't be it. This can't be life, And when my grandmother got she had cancer for 10 years, and the cancer came back, and it was about 2011. And I just remember telling her, I just said, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to buy a house. That is my goal for being in Texas, and to give Jordan a better future. That's it. So that was the first time that I had a goal set. And she and I had our love-hate relationship, and I was the most rebellious one, I guess, according to her. And one thing she told me, this was the last conversation we really had, and she was just like, if I know something about you, when you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. So I always remember that, and I'm not gonna cry, because I did my makeup for y'all today, so I'm not gonna cry. But I just remember that, and I always remember that. And so when she ended up passing, She passed in March, and summer passed, and I was just like, I'm gonna go back to school. Like, I'm ready to go back to school. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know what's ahead of me. I don't know, what is to come. Because already I knew I had an issue with math. I already knew that fear was there. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something where no math is involved. If I can find something where I can do where no math is involved, I'm straight. I'm good to go. And you have to take a form of math. No matter what happens, you have to take a form of math. There's no escaping it. I'm letting y'all know right now. You have to take a form of math, even in the most basic degrees. So just prepare for that. But so when I went in there, I was super embarrassed. I'm 29 years old. Like, I'm knocking on 30, And I go in there and I'm just like, hey, and I'm like, I haven't been to school since 1999. I don't know what I'm doing. I am here. I want to enroll in college. Can you help me? And they were like, yeah, come on, let me show you what to do. And he showed me what to do. He was like, okay, you got to take these assessment tests. This is how we going to do it. This is what it does. It places you, lets us know the level you're at so we can know what level of English and math to place you in. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I didn't score the lowest for math, surprisingly, and I actually scored really high for English. But with that said, I had to humble myself and literally go as a almost 30-year-old woman to the community college with my tail tucked and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but can you please help me? And that was the beginning of me understanding what goals were and how to work for goals. So when I first registered for classes and everything, I was initially going for health info management. So with health info management, I was doing great. I was getting B's and stuff. I was cool. And then I found out you had to do clinicals, which is pretty much volunteering at a hospital or at a facility, kind of like earning credits. Well, I couldn't do that because I was a single parent and I was by myself and I had to work full time, so I couldn't do that. I work in the health industry, so when I was doing the job I was doing, I was a medical intake specialist. So I ended up going to school to heighten my knowledge in terms of what I was already doing, which was health info management. So that's why I chose that program, because I learned about medical terminology, pathophysiology, different prescriptions, psychology, sociology, all that other stuff. So it was really beneficial in terms of helping me grow for where I was, because the job that I was at, I felt like there was no going anywhere else unless I had some form of education. I didn't want to do that forever. So I started my college journey. And in that time, things just started happening. Stress was hitting, life was hitting, bills was hitting, just everything was hitting. So I would take a semester off here. I would take a year off there. I would take off, a summer. Like I literally was like, okay. So then I was doing health info management, but once I found out about the clinical internship, I had to change it. So I ended up changing it to do just billing and coding, because I was like, okay, if I could get a job doing billing and coding, then, that would be cool too, because they made decent money. Well, I ended up taking the coding class, and that was hard. So if you guys don't know, so whenever you go to the doctor, there's diagnosis. So if you go to the doctor, let's just say you broke your wrist. So you break your wrist, there's a code for that. So the code gets done by the doctor's office, and then they send that code to the medical insurance company. Well, I was the one who was getting that code. So you enter in that code, and that's how they read the claims in order to know what's what. So it was called at that time ICD-9 codes. Well, when I took the coding class, the industry was changing from ICD-9s and converting to ICD-10s, because so many more diseases and diagnoses and issues had came out. So they had to pretty much revamp the system and come out with more coding. So they upped it to ICD-10. So in my class, we were doing ICD-9s and ICD-10s. So I knew a lot of ICD-9s by heart, but ICD-10s I couldn't comprehend, because I was so used to doing the 9s. So in that, I didn't do well in that class, because I was like, it was literally an ICD-9 code would be like A10.2, and ICD-10 would be like A0.25XO. Like, what? Like, I couldn't, and then on top of that, I'm still working at work with ICD-9 coding. So I couldn't wrap my mind around it. So there was that one class, and then you had to take a part two of it. And I was just like, yeah, you know what, this is not for me. I'm gonna just go ahead and quit. So then I went and talked to a counselor, and she was just like, Carlotta, why don't you just do the basic general degree with a background in healthcare, because you have all these health classes, so it will count for you because you have taken them all. And I was just like, okay, well, what do I got to do? She was like, well, you know, she was telling me the basically the prerequisite courses, the prereqs. So I did it backwards than most people. I did all of the electives and then the prereqs, where normally you go in doing your prereqs first. So basically, she was like, yeah, you have to do a math class. And I was like, nah, don't tell me that. She was like, yeah, you have to do at least an algebra class. So I was like, all right. So off that, I was discouraged, because I was like, I'm not gonna pass. I already know I'm not gonna pass. It's gonna be too hard for me, you know? And so I went into algebra class. I had, you know, my friend helped me. I ended up getting a C. So then you had to do another level of algebra in order to get to the college level, the 13, 14. So I ended up doing the second one, and the teacher basically will put you on the spot. He'll be like, you can't leave the class until you guess the answer, which for me, you're putting me on the spot, so that instantly makes me do this, you know, makes me clam up. So I dropped that class. So I dropped that, didn't do it again for like 2 years. Like literally I started, no lie, like 2011, and I'm just now finishing, because things kept happening. Things kept, you know, roadblocking me. I tried to take math 2 or 3 times, and I just kept dropping it. I couldn't do it. I tried to take biology. I dropped it. I couldn't do it. It was just so hard. It was just hard doing these classes and then everyday life. And so at that point, I just like buckled down, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do these classes. Like, I'm just gonna do them. Like, I even took like history, and I failed it. And I was like, how did I fail it? Like, I was doing good on everything, but I think he made more of the grade based on your testing. And I think I was getting like D's on the test because I wasn't, like, I'm not a big studier. Like, some things I could just learn on my own or just know by heart. And in that case, I wasn't. So I was getting D's on the test, but I was getting like A's and B's on the assignment, but he made it more like, you know, 85% of your test is the grade thing. So I failed. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna wind it back, and I'm gonna just focus. So they have this thing called ratemyprofessor.com, where you can go on there, enter in your school, and you can enter in the subject, and it pulls up all the teachers and how everybody rated them. I need to rate my math teacher. But yeah, so with that, I started looking at who was the best history teacher. So I found this one teacher, and when I tell you, he was so cool, like he was hella cool. So I ended up getting a B in his class. So I went from a fail in one class, and I went to a B in one class. And this is something that you should know. Like literally, it can be the professor, whether you pass the class or not. It can be based on how the professor gets down. So he was so cool. So he ended up having a summer class for government. So I ended up taking him for government, and I ended up making an A. So I was like, okay, he hella cool. So I was like, okay, I'm on this positive momentum again. I'm getting it. I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? So then I had to take biology. Like I took history, then I took government too, and then I took biology. So biology was like a killer. Like literally it was Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 7 to 10 every night. And when I tell you, that was the semester when I first got AJ. So literally when I tell you that I was dealing with the courts, the social workers, AJ, you know, he was kind of like troubled when he first came to us. So I was dealing with that. I was dealing with having to learn about mitochondria and cells and all that other stuff. Like it was just so much. Like it was just so much on my brain. And when I tell you, like I get shingles here and there when I get super stressed. And I was getting shingles because I was like, literally, I couldn't even fathom everything that was coming at me. Then I sold my other house. We ended up buying this house. So we ended up having to live in an Airbnb that was infested with flies. I gotta tell you about that another day. That's another story. But it was just so much going on. And I was just like, I'm gonna fail. I told my husband, I'm gonna fail. Every day I was like, I'm gonna fail. Literally, I BS you not. So Tuesday was lecture. And then Wednesday, hold on, my throat's getting dry. Could was lecture. Wednesday was lab. When I tell you, like the lecture part wasn't as bad. The lecture part I could handle because there's books. You know, just show me what I need to learn and I can learn it. I can recite it and I can learn it. But lab, you had to like do lab examples, like experiments. And I was just like mind blown because I told my group, it was 3 of us. And of course I was the oldest, and they had to be about, I think one was 21 and one was 22 and one was 18. And I was like, I have nothing to offer you guys. I literally am going to be the cheerleader. Like, I have nothing to bring to this table. I have nothing to bring to this group. I remember I think maybe the third week there, I remember I just was sitting there, and I just remember just the crying was building. I just remember it building. And I just like Karen, my lab mate, if she even sees this, hey girl. But if she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm just gonna go. And she was like, okay, just go, you know? And when I tell you, I left and I was like, I'm gonna quit. I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna drop this class. I can't do it. I can't take it. It's too much. Like, it's too much on my brain. It's too much on my heart. It's just too much on my body. It's just too much. It's just too much strain and stress. And he was just like, talk to your lab teacher. Tell him what was going on. Yada, yada, yada. Because that's when I did find out that I had a math disability, because that's when I started therapy. Because once I got AJ, I decided to go to therapy because I needed kind of like how to, you know, figure out how to deal with all the emotions that was going on with him based on, you know, my childhood trauma. So she ended up finding about, you know, I was telling her about my math situation, and that's when she made me go get tested. So that's when I found out about the math disability. So I only found out about it like last year. And so I told my lab teacher about it, and, you know, knowing about the disability, I'm telling you, it just made things just so much easier to process, because I was just like, I know why I'm not understanding this, because this has a lot to do with math, and I'm not good with math. You know, I understand why I'm not comprehending it. So I talked to him, and honestly, I literally, by the hairs of my chinny chin chin, I literally, no BS, my grade, first of all, it was like, lab was 20% of your grade and the lecture was 80%. So you combine. And when I did my lab, I failed. I got a D on the practical, on the first practical, and I got a fail on the second practical. And I was like, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. Like, I'm gonna fail it, you know. And then I got really sick. So for like 3 months, I was sick. Like, I had a really bad wheeze. Like, I found out I had asthma because I was so stressed out. Like, my lungs just gave out. I was breathing like I had a hole in my neck, like a smoker. So I couldn't focus on anything. So I took the practical and I failed it. And I just told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. Like, I was just like, literally every Wednesday going home, I would cry in the car. I would cry in the car like a whole big ass baby, because I just was I felt so defeated. And I was just like, why am I still doing this? Why am I still in school? Why do I care? Like, no one cares if I quit. No one cares. But I felt like I always remember me telling my grandmother, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna get my degree. I'm gonna go. And I, you know, being a single mom, I wanted to show Jordan how important it was, to show her how important it was to get educated and to be educated. And I wanted to show her that it could be done even in the hardest circumstances. So it took me 9 years. No, 9 years. I started in 11 and I just finished. So it took me 9 years to finish. 9 years of my life. So with that said, was it worth it? Yes, it was absolutely worth it. I will say that was the first time that I actually stuck with something, even though it took a century to complete. I kept trying to see that. I kept seeing the end result, and the end result was me graduating. I was like, I haven't had a graduation in a long time. I want a graduation. I need a graduation in my life. Like, so I just kept seeing the end, which was me graduating. And I just saw my daughter being so proud of me. And I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to give up. And I told her, I was like, I felt like I never was going to finish. I feel like even with the biology thing, I was like, I'm so close. I'm so close. Like, if I just quit right now, no one will blame me. Biology and math, it's hard. It sucks, you know? But I was like, I told my manager about it at work, and she was like, Carlotta, out of all the things you've accomplished in your life, out of all the roadblocks, out of everything you beat, you gonna let math and biology beat you? And I was like, yeah, I am. It's hard. it's a lot. I'm stressed. I'm tired. I can't take it. Like I'm literally going out my mind. Like my head was like every week. I feel like my head busted. Every week I would drive home crying. Every week I drove home crying. And I was like, why can't I? It's like I wanted to quit, but I couldn't quit. I couldn't. I don't know what it was. I couldn't quit. And I just kept thinking about people that I knew who went to school, who had their degree, who, and I was just like, the one thing that I'm going to say is you can't compare yourself to other people. And that is something that I have bad because I always say, well, they did this, they did that, they had it like this, this happened for them. But it's like me, I'm not like other people. I went back to school at 30 almost, literally 2 months before I turned 30. And I did it by myself. I did it, I had a lady at my job and she told me about it. She was like, you can apply for FAFSA. That's how I learned about FAFSA. I did that and they basically paid for my schooling up until maybe like a year ago, and I paid for the rest of my classes. But pretty much I'm like, literally, because I was taking more at the time, but that at the end I was taking like, because I failed history, they was like, we ain't give you no financial aid, you ain't getting no more. So then I had to start paying for my own classes because I lost my financial aid. So little things like that, I was just like, okay, I didn't fail because I didn't try. I failed because I wasn't doing great on tests, but I did good on everything else. Like I didn't even fail the test. I failed like one test and got 3 Ds. Like the 3 Ds should override the fail, but nevertheless, so it was just little things like that where I just felt so defeated. I had so many defeated moments and I was like, why can't I quit? Why can't I just stop? Like, Carlotta, just quit. Who cares? No one cares. Let it go. And I just kept hearing my voice tell my grandmother, I'm going to get a house and I'm going to go to school. So I just was like, okay, if I had to take a year off, so be it. If I had to take a semester off, so be it. I dropped math 3 times, so be it. Like I, at that point, didn't care. I was like, I don't care. If I finish in 30 years, I don't care. Like I have nothing to prove. I have a decent job. I'm fine. And, and it was just something about once I got close to the end, once I took biology, I was like, I'm so close. I'm so close. Like I just can't let this be it. Like this just can't be it for me, And so I did biology, and then when math came, like I'm honestly say that biology probably was more stressful to me than math. Like math was stressful, don't get me wrong. It was very, very stressful, especially when the transition happened and we came home and started doing online classes. Because I didn't normally do online, but with math and biology, I need to do it on campus because I need to be in the environment. And when I went and when they started making us go home to do online because of the pandemic hitting, I was like, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. Like, there's no way that I can possibly do this and be successful and get good grades. I'm going to fail because I'm now self-teaching. Whereas in class, I was asking all kind of questions. I was taking notes. I was asking all kind of questions. Sorry, y'all see me. I keep straightening myself out. I was like, yeah, like, I'm asking questions, I'm being involved, I'm doing class participation. But once we got home, it was all on me. And I was like, I can't learn this. Like I literally had to like go and do YouTube. I couldn't go to my therapist and vent to her because pandemic, so I was pretty much on my own. And I called my friend who's like a freaking genius in math. And I was just like, I need help. Like I had to humble myself. I need help. I mean, he would do like little parts with me. He would, help me. And I had to do math lab. I had to do homework. Like I had to set aside a time to do it. I was just like, I'm going to fail. Like I literally kept saying that. And it's like, how they say what you say, you speak into existence. It wasn't that I was trying to speak to existence. I just understood what I was dealing with. And I was dealing with something that, is technically a disability for me. Like I was in the disability program and everything. Like I need to email the counselor and tell her I passed. But so I don't know. My husband was like, you'll pass. Like, they understand what's going on. They understand that everything is like crazy right now. So the fact, because I promise you, when we started doing online, no lie, it was like maybe 25 of us in the class. And when we got online, I saw maybe about 7 people. I think everybody dropped that class. And my husband was like, the fact that you didn't drop it, like they're going to take that into consideration because it shows that you're trying. You're trying. And I'm like, well, what if not trying is not good enough? It's not good enough. I'm going to fail. Like I'm a super critical person. Like, so I literally will beat myself up and be like, like I literally will just beat myself up. And it's like, you shouldn't do that. but that's been my life. It's been hard. So I'm super hard on myself, and I'm learning to be kinder to myself. So that is a process. But in the meantime, that was just like my response to everything. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna do bad, I'm gonna fail. But I kept having the goal, the ending goal in the back of my head, and I was just like, Carlotta, you're smart. Like like you got it. You got it. So just I had to self-talk. I had to have real conversations with myself on a regular. But with that said, I passed. I got an 80. I passed. I got my associates. I'm so excited. Like, I can't believe it. Like, the goal that I had for myself, it took 9 years to get, but I did it. So I say all that to say, don't give up. Whatever your goals are, whatever your plan is, whatever your dreams is, whatever your desires is, don't give up. Don't give up. I'm living witness. It may take 9 years. It might take 10. It might take 15. It might take 2. It may take, what I'm saying? We don't know. You can't even put a time on it sometimes. But don't give up. Don't stop pushing. Take a break if you need to. Take some time off if you need to. But don't you give up, because the reward is so sweet. Like, I think a part of me still hasn't even really believed that I'm done. And as of now, I'm not going to go for my BA because I got to help get my baby through college. So getting my BA is really not a priority right now. But who's to say? Who's to say? Like, I might take a year off and I might get to the point where I'm like, hey, I miss school. Hey, I miss this. Like, let me go back. And I'm okay with not having a plan for it right now. I'm okay with, just going with the flow. However I feel about it is how I feel about it. And I'm totally okay with that. And I'm not going to allow myself to self-pressure. I'm going to just go with it. But what I want to tell you guys is you have to know about sticking to your plan. You have to always keep it in the back of your mind of what the end result is going to be. So what I want to say is, if you have to write down notes, if you have to journal your thoughts, if you have to make a vision board, if you have to go somewhere that's peaceful and just sit and think about what's on the other side of the bridge, like, you have to remain focused, and you have to know that the reward is gonna come. The end is gonna come. The finish, you will make it to the finish line. I am that proof. I am the proof that you will make it to the finish line. I would say definitely get some self-help books, some motivation books, read positive quotes, read spiritual quotes, do things that helps you feel motivated. If you have to look away and just take a moment and then come back and go harder, like, you have to do that, because that's kind of what I did. I took like a year off, like I took a semester off, like I took a summer off, like I took the breaks because I got burned out. Again, when you're working a full-time job and you're having to be a parent and you're going through things, life is hitting you, you have to understand that, you have your plate, and what are the most important things on that plate? Some of the things can be taken off. And in my case, it was school. So I would be able to take school off and handle myself, handle my business, get my stuff back in order, and then I can put school back on the plate. But in the meantime, you have to keep in mind of what's important and do little by little if needed. Whatever it is, if you want to start a business, if you want to fix your credit, if you want to travel, you want to plan a trip, if you want, if you choose to go back to school, like, whatever it is, you have to start small and do little by little. You can't just take off running. You have to crawl before you walk, especially when you're in these times where you have to where you're my age and everything is on you. You have to self-support. Like, don't beat yourself up. If you're younger and you have the support, that is amazing. Like, I wish I had it like that. But to those who don't, it's okay to dream. It's okay to have goals. It's okay to want more. It's okay to not be content with what you have. It's okay to say, this isn't enough. And that's okay. And the thing about that is what are you going to do about it? Okay, we know that you don't like it, but what are you going to do about it? Start thinking of ideas, and start making plans, and plan and execute. If you do not have the support, find it. If you do not have resources, Google it. There are people there put in place that can support you, like counselors, like therapists. If your friends are not supporting you, you need a new set of friends. contact, like one thing I love about out here is I know everybody I know out here is educated. And I ask them like, how did you do it? And how this and how that? And when I hear about people who have master's degrees, it is like so mind-boggling to me because I'm like, you have a master's degree? Like, do you understand how major that is? Like, for someone like me who had nothing, I'm like, that is the most amazing thing. And to them, they're like, oh, it's nothing. Like, I don't care. But coming people who are not educated at all, to them, it's the world. So it's okay to not be there. It's okay to not be at that point. But also know that if you want to dream and have your goals, whatever they may be, there's ways to execute. There's ways to obtain them. There's ways to work towards them. And like I said, find that support. YouTube, like they have all these kind of therapists and speakers and motivational speakers and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I'm at that level yet, so I can't really say me, but there are definitely people out there who are professionals and who are professionally trained on how to deal with these kind of things and how to help people in order to get them ahead of the game. So definitely look into that. Stay motivated. The only thing that kept me motivated was I wanted Jordan to be proud of me. I was like, I want her to look and I want her to see that her mom did it. Her mommy did it and her mom finished, and she finished strong. And I just saw me with a cap and gown on, and I just saw me being happy. And I just, I have a girl on my Facebook, and I just remember seeing her, and she had like 3 kids, and she was a single parent, and she graduated from UCLA. And I was just like, wow, like, that is amazing. Like, and so I look to people, and sometimes that's the thing. We have people that inspire us and they don't even know that they inspire us. They don't even know what they're doing is inspiring other people. And it's okay to look to them for inspiration. You don't have to talk to them, but just know that not speaking to them, just knowing that watching them, watch what they do and watch how they move, and know that if one person can do it, another person can do it too. So do your best to stay motivated. Think about why you started, whatever it is. Think about why you started. I started because I just got tired of doing the same job and not getting anywhere and not having, anything to back me up. And if anything happened, I have to go find me a little entry level job or go, work at Macy's. I'll tell you about that story another day. And make $8 an hour, and I have a mouth to feed. Like, I just thought about, I wanted to have something that would support me if anything went wrong. And I also wanted to be educated and I wanted to learn. And I just wanted my daughter to be proud of me. So those are the reasons why I started. So you need to go to the place of why you started, and that place is what's going to keep you motivated to keep going. Reward yourself. My reward was I was supposed to be in Jamaica next week, so that's not happening. But what I am doing, I'm still taking that week off because I feel like I've been going hard for like two and a half years, and I want to reward myself. So me rewarding myself is me taking some time off. I'm gonna just sleep. I'm gonna just Netflix binge. I have shows I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna eat some Chipotle. I'm gonna just take a hot bubble bath. I'm gonna drink some wine. I'm gonna just take nature walks. I'm gonna just relax, and I'm just gonna do me. And so with that said, don't be mad at me, y'all, but I'm taking off a week. So I'm just gonna just take a break and just recharge myself in all avenues so I can come back stronger. Because I will say, with school, with the Jordan Senior stuff, with everything that's happened, the pandemic, I am drained. My vibrations are low right now, and I can admit that. I think that a lot of people don't know how to recognize, but I can. And I know that I'm just depressed because I want to eat Wingstop all the time. And I need to rest. I need to sleep. I need to just have some me time in order to recharge myself so I can come back and be better. You have to know when to say when, and you have to know when you need some time to regroup. And that's what I'm going to do for this next week. So I'm really excited. So just be patient with me, y'all. I'll be back bigger, better than ever, but I have to take some time for me. I want to celebrate with my baby. She's graduating tomorrow, and I'm so excited. And I want to sit in that moment, because the fact that she's graduating, I think about why I came to Texas. I think about what made me come here. And what made me come here is that I wanted her to have a future. I wanted to give her a chance at life. And I knew that where I was prior, I wasn't able to give to her what she deserved. And I wanted to be able to give my best to her. So the fact that she's finally graduating, I need to sit in that moment. I need to sit in that. And if the spas were open right now, I would take me a whole spa day. Cause I worked hard to get here. I worked my ass off to get here and to get her here. So this is that time where I gotta unplug and I gotta just be in the moment, and I gotta enjoy this moment, because this moment for me is bigger than me, and I have to relish in it. I have to sit in it. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break, but reward yourself. Anything you do that you're accomplishing, that's a goal that you've accomplished, reward yourself. So although we're not going to Jamaica next week, we are planning to go in February. So we have already rebooked that. But reward yourself. Tell yourself, when this is done, I'm going to go buy me some new shoes. I mean, that's small, but you know what I'm saying. Like, when this is done, I'm going to go buy me a new lipstick. Just whatever. I mean, whatever is a reward in your opinion, like, do that for yourself. Self-care, self-love, self-worth. Do it for you. Understand that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's hard. I know you can't see it now. I know it feels like it is so far away. It's miles and miles and miles and miles away. I know personally. So I know your struggle. Do not think that no one understands. I understand the struggle of feeling like you will never get there. And I'm telling you, you will. You will get there. It will take some time, but you will. And I promise the reward is so sweet. Just stand back, push your shoulders back, hold your head high, and keep it moving. Adjust your crown, and whether you are a king or a queen, and you keep it moving. That reward is there, and it's gonna come. The light is at the end of the tunnel, I promise. Lastly, don't give up. I know it's easy to give up. I know the easiest thing to do is to say, forget it, I don't care, I don't need it, I don't want it, it's not worth it. But understand, if you give up, you will regret it, because what you're going to think about is, what if I didn't quit? What if I didn't give up? What if I just kept pushing? What if I did just make that move? What if I did, date that person? What if I did, pay that bill on time? What if I did, start that business? What if I did, what if I did call that person that told me that they could help me? Like, you have to think about the what ifs. And if you give up, those what ifs will eat you alive for the rest of your life. And sometimes chances only come around once. So when opportunity knocks, you need to answer. So don't give up, and understand that it's hard, but you will get through. And just take a deep breath and regroup and plan and execute and rock that SHIT. So with that said, I know I've been talking for almost an hour. I just wanted to come on here and just give some encouragement and just let you guys know I'm living proof that it can be done. So with that said, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Okay. Mwah.